In today's class, we are going to be talking about AI, we're going to be talking about ChatGPT, and we're going to be talking about ways that you can utilize this revolutionary piece of software to start making money. So please take this as a beginner's guide to using ChatGPT. So throughout this video, I'm going to be telling you what ChatGPT is, how to use it, how you should be using it, what it can do, and the opportunities that have arisen from this becoming widely available. And this video, unfortunately, isn't going to have any B-roll of robots or fancy colors in the background. We are hopefully just going to be dropping some serious knowledge. So let's get started. Now, throughout the video, I'm going to be referring to and showing you the ChatGPT website, which is available through this link. It's free to sign up. It's obviously got massive demand because millions of people have signed up for it. So there may be some difficulty signing up. There may be, it may be slow now and again, but as this progresses, hopefully it's going to become more widespread. It's going to be easier to use and more available. And hopefully, as you're watching this video, this is not going to be a problem. The demand will have, leveled out. And remember, guys, if you get any value whatsoever from this video, all that I ask is to smash that like button. I really do appreciate it. So I think the best place to start is the progression of information in the digital age and how we've got to where we are at this point. So I may not look it, I may look it, okay, but when I was at school, okay, it was pre-internet. Okay, in high school, it was pre-internet. We didn't have internet. Okay, and in the library, we had one computer. So it was one computer for the entire school. And on this computer, it had an encyclopedia. This encyclopedia was on a single CD, one CD, and it had contained all of the information for the encyclopedia that the entire school had to share. Okay, so it was obviously incredibly limited. It only had as much information as it contained in this CD-ROM, just like you would have got in an encyclopedia, a book. See, back in the day, you go to the library and you would take out like a big, thick book, and it would be an encyclopedia, and it would have hundreds and hundreds of entries in it, and you just flick through A to Z, find your information. And this is the same thing with this CD-ROM. You'd type something in, you'd click enter, and it would come back with one, maybe two paragraphs on a subject, Henry VIII, or photosynthesis, whatever it might be, and you could print that little bit of information out. Now, as I said, it was limited, and you had to write in the correct words, because when you searched, it would look for that word that you typed in, and it would basically present you with that information. And that's what it is. Now, fast forward 25-ish plus years, we now have the internet, which has got layers and layers and layers and years and years and years of information. So there are billions and billions and billions of websites and videos that contain all manner of information, whether it's fact or opinion. Okay, and now you can utilize Google search and search for something. You can ask it a question. Okay, you can ask it a question, and it will search through using its algorithm to find what it thinks is the best answers. Okay, essentially, it will find you the best websites which are linked to the keywords that you typed in. Okay, and then it's up to me to flick through those pages or videos, read them, watch them, digest that information, and then essentially do whatever I wanted to do with that information. Now, we can combine that with some of these voice activated assistants. So I've got like Siri from Apple on my watch, my phone. You've also got the Google devices, you've got the Alexa devices, and you can say whatever the call phrase is, and then ask it a question. And if it's something basic or mathematical, it will give you a direct answer. Or if you're asking where something specifically is, for example, some of these questions there is a right or wrong answer. Okay. If you say, if I held this down and said, what is 10 times 2, whatever, it will just tell me the exact answer. Now, if I asked it something that was not that straightforward, or asked it about something history or whatever, it would probably come up and give me a web link. It would search the internet and it would provide me with a link. Okay. Then again, it's up to me to go through and decide whether that is the correct information and digest it and use it however I see fit. Now, AI and ChatGPT takes us one step further along the food chain of getting information, but also, using this AI, we're essentially getting, one step closer to needing Arnie to come back from the future, get John Connor, and basically save the world from what is actually going to be happening here. Okay. But ChatGPT and AI, okay, I'm going to read this, okay, because I want this to be word for word, okay? It's essentially a computer program in the form of a chatbot that has been trained to answer any question in a human way based on a massive network of data, the internet. And it does this in real time and has the ability to follow the conversation you are having with it so that you can ask supplementary questions to information it has provided to you. Okay, so it is a really powerful computer program that understands what you are saying. It's able to find information. It's able to extract specific information, how you want it to be displayed. It's able to interpret it, and it's able to create content based upon what you have asked it to search for. So this, of course, is incredibly powerful. So let's jump across to the computer and start going through some examples to show you the power of what we can do and show you exactly how this works. Right, okay, so we have got to the website. This is chat.openai.com. Okay, so this website has got so much demand at the moment. Sometimes it's slow, sometimes it's coming up with errors. But hopefully, as days, weeks progress, it's going to become much more smoother. Okay, but it's so powerful. We need to be jumping on this now, right? So as you can see, it's a chatbot. It works in much the same way as any of these chatbots you will have seen on, e-commerce websites where it's used for support and whatever. Usually pretty annoying. But we're asking it for specific information. Now, I'm going to go through a process where I'm going to ask about, the greatest sports people of all time. And we'll see how we can interrogate the information it provides us and what it will allow us to do. Okay. So what you'll see is I'll type a question and then, which will be, who are the most successful sports people of all time? Okay, and we'll just answer it. Now, it's doing this in real time. It's not collecting this from a database. It's machine learned all this information, okay, and it's able to extract information, interpret the question that we're asking it, and provide a suitable answer. Okay, and if we ask this again, because it's doing it instantaneously, it will probably provide us with a different answer. It will interpret the question possibly slightly differently. Now, in all probability, it will provide us with an answer which is similar, but it may do it slightly differently. Okay, so as you can see here, it's coming along and it's given us a paragraph there about talking about the question, and then it started to provide us a list. So we've got Michael Phelps, Serena Williams. I would probably say it's a good bet that she's probably the greatest sports person of all time. Bolt, Pele, Federer, Ali, Tiger Woods, Navratilova, Jordan, Jim Thorpe. Okay, and it's given us another thing, right? So now we've got this information. We've got a list of 10. We've got some supplementary information. We've got a list of what the sports were. Now, what else could we ask? right? So we can look at that list and we can say something like, can you reorder that list? Okay, so that's just a basic command, okay? Reorder the list, okay? But how are we going to reorder it, right? We're going to reorder it by the person's date of birth. So we're adding information here that isn't in this list. There's no information there of what the list is. So we're adding the person's date of birth, okay? And can you add their nationality? Okay, anything else? Along with the highlight of their career. So we're asking like a number of different things to this. We're asking to reorder the thing and also add. So let's just see what happens. And here it's going to say, yep, sure, we can do this. And then it's going to add the information and then it's going to start doing it, okay? Which is pretty good. Now, if you think about this, right, for me to obtain this information just through Google, I would have had to have read quite a lot of books. I would have read through loads of pages, taken loads of notes, absorb lots of information, make a decision on who I think are the top 10. Then I would have actually gone through the process of working out the date of birth, and then put it in this sort of order, okay, which is very, very time consuming. You can see, I know this is taking a few minutes while we're doing this, but I'm also, gassing here, okay? So to do this and have it all written in order, nicely presented, I can always go back and say, can you rewrite this with more information, in a different style or whatever, okay? Now, also, I can quickly go back and say, can you add the next 2 people to this list? Can you add the next? So, in theory, we've got 10. We should have another 2. Okay, so let's see who another 2 people might be in that list. Jackie Joy Kersey. That's pronounced right. I'm not familiar with that person. Track and field, female athlete, 6 Olympic medals, and Sachin Tendulkar, a cricket legend. Okay, so there we go. We've got another 2 people added to this list. Lots of really good information. Now, this is where we can then start to really interrogate this information and come up with ideas, start to develop how we can utilize this. Okay, so it's not just coming up with facts, information, stats, and that sort of thing. I could ask for so much more stats. I could say, like, how much money did all these people make in their career? How many individual honors has everyone got? What was the length of all of their careers? Blah, blah, blah. All that sort of stuff, whatever, right? So what I can come in here is, okay, I can then ask it a question such as, give me 3 ideas for books based upon the people in this list. And let's just see what it says. So I've just asked it for 3 ideas for books based on the people in this list. Here are 3 potential book ideas based on the people in this list of most successful sports people of all time. Okay, so you've got The Mind of a Champion, Lessons from the Greatest Athletes. Okay, that's quite an interesting book. I was actually, I was thinking that maybe it would give us individual books based upon the individual people, but it's actually given us books based on the collective people in this list, which is pretty good. Not something I would have thought of. Do you know what I mean? So the second one is The Evolution of Sports, from Jim Thorpe to Usain Bolt. This could trace the history of sports and explore how the world's greatest athletes have changed and evolved over time. I mean, that's someone could write that book. I mean, I'm probably sure there's another one. Look, Unforgettable, Inspiring Stories from the World's Greatest Athletes. Okay. So just say we keep with this list, and I could say, What could we say? We could say, if we just say, based upon popularity of the list of most successful sports people of all time, who would be the best subject for a book? Right, you'll see my spelling is absolutely horrendous, which is one of the reasons why this sort of tool is phenomenal, right? So based upon the popularity of the list of most successful sports people of all time, who would be the best subject for a book, right? So let's just see what it comes back with, okay? Right, so it's saying Michael Jordan would be the most likely to be the well-received. Blah, blah, blah. There are already many books, but a new book could explore different aspects of his life and career that have been covered in depth. For example, the book could explore his business ventures and the impact. Look at this idea, right? It's given us an idea of what an alternative book could be. Okay. Can you give me ideas for the title of what that book could be called? Right, so it's given me a bit of an idea. Right, okay. It's giving me some ideas, man. It's giving me some really, really cool ideas. Okay, so essentially, right, once we've got these, I can now ask it to create an outline for the book. Okay, so I can say, I like idea. What one should we go for? Let's go for number 6. I like idea 6. Can you create an outline for that book? Right? So that should be Beyond the Court. Beyond the Court, Many Lives of Michael Jordan, right? So here we go. Introduction. It's going to go with a brief overview of the career. It's going to be an explanation of the book's focus on Jordan's life. Then it's going to go chapter 1, early life and education. And it's going to list this, right? So you can see it is outlining the entire book. This is pretty wild, to be perfectly honest, right? It's just doing it. I'm not typing anything. It's creating it. I haven't, my knowledge of Michael Jordan is limited. Back in the 90s, we had highlights on terrestrial TV, watched a little bit here and there, played a little bit. I did actually have a basketball, but I was terrible at it. So I know limited bits about it. It's not widespread here in the UK, right? But I've managed to generate an entire overview of what a book on Michael Jordan could be, right? Now, but this could be anything. This literally could have been anything. We could have interrogated it even more, could have got down to something very much more specific, right? But now, once we've gotten this right, once we've got this, we can then use it to create the content, okay? This is what's so powerful, right? So now I can go in there and I can say, can you write 300 words for the introduction? Okay. And hopefully it's going to just start typing this content. Okay. Now, I'm appreciating this video is going on, so I'm not going to go too much deeper into this, but I could go back into this and I can ask it, well, once it's written this paragraph, I can get it to write all of the different chapters, okay? All of them, I can copy and paste the titles and say, can you write the, can you write 500 words on this title or whatever, right? But once it's done, so once it's done this introduction, I can go, right, this is great, but can you rewrite it a little bit longer, a bit shorter? Can you include a timeline of his career in the chapter? I can ask it to add different things, research things, find out stats and information, bits and pieces, or like say, can you talk, in the introduction, can you add more about his relationship with the sports brand, okay? The trainers, right? The sneakers, whatever you want to call them, right? You can go in and you can change, you can add, you can tweak, you can perfect, and generate essentially really high quality content. And because you're constantly changing it and tweaking it, you're building originality upon originality. Okay, it's not copied and pasted this from somewhere else. Particularly if I say, right, can you rewrite this in the style of Roald Dahl or whatever? Sounds weird, but I could go in and say, great, that introduction for Michael Jordan's book is great, but can you rewrite that in the style of children's author Roald Dahl? And because it is able to know who Roald Dahl is, it's able to know the sorts of books that guy's written, it's able to then take this text and write it in that style. You can do it any sort of style. You could say, write this in the style of the Daily Telegraph or whatever. Okay. So absolutely mad. Okay. So the big take homes of ChatGPT are twofold, right? It allows you to obtain information in any style quicker than you ever could have done yourself, or paid or got someone else to do for you. This information here that we've got today, I would have taken me probably hours to research, find, collect, collate, and organize, right? I've done it in, probably 15 minutes of me talking, right? The second thing is that it allows you to generate content quicker than ever before. Okay, I've been able to generate 10 titles. First of all, I was able to find out what's most likely to be the most popular book. Then I was able to generate 10 potential titles for a book, then an outline for the book, and then generate the content for the introduction, all in a matter of minutes. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy what it can do, right? So, what actually can ChatGPT do for the average person that's trying to build businesses, make money online, that sort of thing, right? What are they going to want to use this for? So there's some basic things. So the first thing is research, okay? So we did that at the start when we were researching the greatest sports people of all time, okay? And we could have done loads of different research, extracted different information, stats, information, and interrogated it, okay? Fact finding and explanations. Okay. We did that. Okay. We're able to create ideas, brainstorm. Okay. We did both of those by asking it the titles and telling us that who's more likely to be more popular, and it told us Michael Jordan, even though there's loads of books, it kind of said, maybe one on this other style might be a good idea, worth a go. Right. So you can do outlines and plans for certain things. We did that. We generated the whole outline of a book in the matter of 30 seconds, but we can do this for loads of different things. We can ask it to create plans or outlines for, videos, books, articles, a course, food plans, meal plans, trips around the world, trips to different countries, events in your own life, loads of different things that you can ask it to do. If it's able to extract information and interpret information, it's going to be able to know what to do. It's going to know how to write a CV, it's going to be able to write all of these things, right? Content creation. Content creation is the fifth one, okay? Because we can write articles, we can write stories, we can write songs, we can write poems, we can write letters, we can write emails, all these sorts of things. We can just say, can you write me a story about a guy called Dave who, falls down a hill and develops, invisibility, and then, flies to the moon and back and eats, 10 pounds of cheese. And the moral of the story is fall down a hill and you like cheese, and it will sit there and go, and it will write you that story. Do you know what I mean? And then, as I said, you can interrogate and say, right, can you write that story in the style of David Williams, or Bill Bryson, or whoever it might be? Do you know what I mean? Because it can interpret the information, it can do it. And you could do the same thing, because you can write songs that you could say, write me a song in the style of, Harry Styles or Guns N' Roses or Eminem or whatever about breaking my phone. You can do this sort of mad stuff, right? Duplication of content. So I can have a piece of content they already have. I can paste it into it, click the button and say, right, this is a piece of content. Can you duplicate? I want various different versions of it. Okay. So you could write an email and say, this is the typical sort of email I've been writing to my audience. Can you write me 10 emails that have the same tone, give the same message, but we're writing it in a different style? And then we can use that for for an email list. Really, really cool, right? Redrafting of text into different styles. I kind of mentioned that about being able to get some text and write it in a different style of someone else's. We can translate. So we can create content in basically every language. So I can say, can we write, you write this introduction about the Michael Jordan book, but can you do it in Spanish? And it will just do it. It will just type it up in Spanish. Okay. Now, there are more advanced things that ChatGPT can do. You can ask it to create things in code. So you can ask it to create web pages and applications. Now, obviously, this is much more advanced, and you need to really understand the whole process, and you need to be able to know how to view it and all that stuff. The beauty is you could ask ChatGPT, how can I work this out? How can I view it? How do I, what are the steps needed to be able to create apps in ChatGPT? And it will tell you. Okay. And obviously the API, which is, the link that coders can use, are going to be able to utilize ChatGPT to create apps that integrate with the technology that it has. So they're going to be able to create their own bots about specific things. So like customer service, it machine learns the data that it wants it to be able to learn. And then it's able to know how to integrate and how to communicate with the people that chat with it. Okay. So, okay, we know what it is. We know how it works. How, can ChatGPT help you make money? Okay, so sure. The short answer is that ChatGPT is essentially going to be a cheat code for helping you create content that you never would have been able to create before, and being able to create it in a quicker way than you ever would have thought possible. So just say, for example, for me, my English is, I can talk English, but I am a slow typer. My spelling is terrible. So whenever I'm researching something, trying to write something, it takes me an incredible amount of time. So I either have to spend an incredible amount of time doing it, or I need to employ other people to do the legwork so that I can then do it. And then I have to then spend a long time reading it, because I'm also a slow reader, to digest it, to work out exactly what I'm going to do. Using this tool, I can cut all of that legwork. Things that would have taken days and weeks, I can do in 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes. Okay, I can write about subject matters I have literally nothing. I know nothing about. Do you know what I mean? So I could write a book about tourist hotspots in Japan for first-time visitors that have got bucket loads of cash. For example, I can write that book. I can do it now. Okay, and I can get the entire book written in under 30 minutes. Right? And I don't know anything about Japan. I've never been. I couldn't tell you much about it off the top of my head, even though it's pretty cool. I couldn't really tell you enough about it. Okay. I've never read or watched enough about it, but I could write that book like that. Okay. That's the beauty of it. Okay. Now, there's a lot of people out there that are getting paid to do these tasks. A lot of the tasks that I've employed people to do, that we've got people to do over the years with our businesses, yeah. And we've hired people to write articles, to write copy for sales pages, and all these sorts of things. Web design, creating videos, creating voiceovers, coding, creating apps, providing support. All this sort of stuff, right? Doing little doing research, collecting images. There's loads of little bits and pieces that we've got people to do, right? These people are called virtual assistants, and you pay them for each task. Okay, you pay them for each task, and essentially, this is something that can replace them, or they can use. Okay, so that is the cool thing. So really, like all of these tasks that I've just mentioned, right? You can use ChatGPT. Okay. So you could work in the gig industry. Okay, you could work in the gig industry and provide the task and essentially solve these tasks by using ChatGPT. And you'd be able to do it really, really quickly, because someone will come to you and say, right, I'm going to give you X amount of money and I want this. Can you go and do it? You're going to do it. You can boom. And then you send over the information, the document, whatever that was required. Okay, but what I would always say is, why would you do it for others? You want to utilize these tools for yourself, okay, to build up your own businesses. Okay, so what specifically can ChatGPT help you create? Okay, because the beauty of ChatGPT is that it is a content creating machine. Okay, now it isn't capable of being an entire business on its own, much like anything else isn't, much like Shopify isn't, much like YouTube isn't, much like, any of the social media platforms or, anything. It's not a business in its right. You need to put something in, things need to happen, some other things need to be bolted onto it to create the full business model. And we know this, if you know there's anything about making money online, this is the case. So here's the mad thing, right? So I'm going to go over some opportunities, right? If you want to know any more information about this, right, more in depth, you can go to ChatGPT and you can ask it. You can ask it, how can I start a business about this? What are the steps that I need to take in order to be successful in doing this? Okay, so then you get your own business plan of what to do, and then use ChatGPT to create the stuff. Okay, so you've got ebooks. Ebooks is the first one. We write a book there, and you can create books and ebooks, whether it's fiction, whether it's non-fiction. You can use these as lead magnets. You can sell them. You can sell them on all the different platforms. Really good. You can use ChatGPT for YouTube channels. Okay, so in the sense that you can ask ChatGPT for ideas for videos. You can ask it for scripts for a specific topic. Okay, you can ask it to do the research for a topic. Okay, and then reword that in the way that would be more suitable for the video. Okay. We've got the ability to create courses and other digital products. So we can go in and we can say, I want to write a course about how to use ChatGPT to make money online, for example. Can you do an outline of a course? Boom. And it will come up and it will go all the modules. And then you can say, right, can you write me a presentation, a 2-minute presentation for each of these modules? Bang. Okay. You can write meal plans, diet plans, all these sorts of things. As I said about the trip around Japan or whatever, you could do the same thing. You could have all these different things that you can create. Then we've got SEO. Now, SEO is a massive way of making money, ranking websites in Google for when people search on Google, because people are searching Google all the time. They want to find something. You can use ChatGPT to write articles for a specific subject, loads of them. Every time you write them, say, can you make sure that these articles are SEO optimized? And how can I optimize these articles for my website? What do I need to do? What are the steps I need to do? And it will actually specifically tell you what is required. We've now got copywriting and emails. So, this is description of sales products, sales pages, sales copy, email sequences, ad copy on social media posts, all these sorts of things that are required to sell products. It can do. You can go in and say, right, I've got this brand new phone that is, the shape of a circle. It's really cool. These are the features, blah, 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 blah. It's being sold for $299. We're going to be targeting guys aged between, 17 and 21 who like Pokemon and, whatever. Can you write me some sales copy about that? Brilliant. Okay. Social media. So you can write it for your Twitter post, your Instagram captions, all that sort of stuff. Research of what they might be. It's really endless. Obviously, then you've got affiliate marketing, which is one of the big ones, which we use all the time. The creation of lead magnets. So whether that's ebooks and checklists and resource lists and all these sorts of things that you can create. You can do it to create the copy on the opt-in, to create the script for your videos, to the entire email sequence, and any free content that you're going to give throughout the email sequence. Okay. And then you've got the beauty. I know we spoke about this just a few moments ago about the fact that, the gig economy. Now, you could utilize that sort of thing by going out and reaching out to small businesses and saying, hey, I can provide you with all of these services. I can write you articles. I can write you scripts for your YouTube videos. I can do your research for products, for customer research, where you should be targeting. I can do your ad copy, your sales copy, your captions for Instagram, captions for TikTok and Twitter, all this sort of thing, and then get on a monthly retainer for $500 or whatever. And then you just send a load of stuff. You spend 30 minutes, half an hour every month, and then you just send it across to them, and they've got all this content which they can then digest and do whatever they like with. So we've kind of come to the end of this video, man. I hope that this has been interesting. It took a little longer than I thought it was going to be, and it's going to take me a while to actually edit this video, but we've gone through a whole lot. This has been a pretty good beginner's guide to AI, the capabilities of it, and what you can achieve. So if you've enjoyed this video, just give it a thumbs up. Has anyone got to the end of this video? If you are one of the few that got to the end of this video, I appreciate you more than you believe. And let me know in the comments that you made it. So take it easy and enjoy using AI. But be careful, because the Terminators are coming.